You got some other stuff?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so we are team 2x4, and I'm Thomas.
I'm Cyrus. I'm Adam. Daniel.
David.
I'm Richard. Derek.
Okay. So during our research, our problem was frozen meat being transported, and it gets spoiled when it's being transported. And they were like transported in refrigerated transports from the processing plant to the distributor.
We are going to perform a skit about the problem without our solution.
Oh, I'm a truck driver. I have a truckload of meat in the back. Oh look, the gas prices are $50 a gallon. I'm going to turn off my refrigeration unit to save some money.
Hey, dude. Whoa, look at this.
What?
It says here that 5 families were poisoned by contaminated meat. But how?
When the truck driver turned off his refrigeration unit, he must have allowed the bacteria and the meat to grow really fast.
Who would do that? So basically our problem is that meat is not always transported at the correct temperature, and bacteria such as salmonella will grow on the meat, which will contaminate it and make people sick.
Okay, so we made 2 solutions, and the first solution is a simple solution that uses colored ice, and the second solution is a high-tech solution that uses sensors and transfers data.
Okay, so here's one example of our solution that uses ice. Another version would be this. With 3
Can you
cubes.
set that out front so I can see it, please?
Okay, so
I love to.
in both of these there are 2 colors of ice, in this case green and red. So when the temperature exceeds 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the ices will melt and mix into a different colored water like this. And this works since even if it refroze, it would still be a different color. So you would be able to tell that the bacteria had the potential to spread. And in the actual solution, we would use an amount of ice that would take a reasonable amount of time, so it wouldn't melt like immediately after the temperature exceeded 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
We had another solution. It was a high-tech solution. It would be a wireless device that would connect to sensors. The sensors would measure the time elapsed between if the meat were to go over a certain temperature and when it would come back down. There's an advantage to this. You can tell for certain how long the meat was over temperature.
We will now perform another skit, this time the problem with our solution. I am the shop owner and they are 2 truck drivers.
Hey boss, I got my truckload of meat in the back. Can I have a raise?
I don't know, let me check the meat. Oh no, it's not good. See, the ice is melted, showing that the temperature has probably gone too high and that the meat is probably contaminated. It also says here that the truck has been 50 degrees, which is above 32 for too long.
So can I get a raise?
No, you're fired.
Hey boss, I got some meat in the back. Did I do well?
I don't know, let me check. So far so good. See, the ice is still in the 2 colors and they haven't melted yet. That means the temperature has stayed low and the meat is not contaminated. It also says here that the temperature has stayed below 32 degrees the whole time. You get a raise!
Yeah!
Okay. So despite the few cents increase that would probably go into the meat from these solutions could actually benefit the economy. So when a food is recalled, most people will probably cease buying that product in general, regardless of like what processor distributed that food. So like even if the people who recalled the meat or whatever food, even if that specific product wasn't from them, most people would stop buying it anyways until the recall was like over. So these solutions could help prevent recalls, preventing people to stop buying those products.
Absolutely.
We can spread our ideas and innovations through the internet by using Facebook, YouTube, and other social networks.
Yes.
So basically, in our research, we studied the meat contamination problem during transportation, and this is a pretty serious problem because we found some statistics from the Indiana State Police that says 30 to 70% of refrigeration units are either faulty or turned off, which cause the meat to be contaminated. And we got our solutions by visiting some professors at the University of Missouri. And we also visited a food science lab and learned stuff there. And yeah.
That was great, you guys. That was really good. How many of you worked on that or came up with that? How you came up with that idea? Did one person come up with it?
We came up with the basic idea, but then the rest of
And then
us
we all
expanded it.
Did you expand it? So you all worked on it, like you said. Fantastic. Now you said you went to a food lab. Can you tell me about that visit?
Basically, there was a University of Missouri food science professor there, and he talked to us like about the different kinds of bacteria and when they'll like multiply the most. And he showed us some of like the ways that he tests different bacteria.
Excellent. So you found out about the testing and found out that the freezing was kind of the best solution to keep meat fresh. Great.
What was your second skit called?
That was our solution, like the problem with our solution.
I didn't understand the problem with the solution. What was the problem with the
The
solution?
problem was like the truck and the temperature inside was too hot, so the meat was contaminated. But since our little ice things could show that, we could just throw out the meat instead of giving it to families who might get sick.
Right.
Okay. So it wasn't really a problem, it was...
How the solution would affect the problem.
Okay, I got you.
Have you talked to a transportation company about the feasibility of some of these your methods?
No, but we studied kind of like on the internet how much these would cost.
Did you?
We also found some other solutions that were similar to these.
Really? Can you tell me about those solutions?
Well, like originally we were thinking about like making kind of like a sticker that would kind of change color with some kind of chemical reaction. Then we found out that those already existed, and but we were wondering why they weren't being used, and we found out that they actually costed quite a bit. So we just decided to change to a different solution.
Yeah, well, your colored ice would be, a cheaper, safer solution.
Because like water is pretty abundant.
Yeah.
Did you consider the problem of tampering? How would you make sure that the colored ice, the driver couldn't get to it to just replace it, with a new one?
There would have to be a supplier of the ice, and they'd have to, the company could contact the supplier, and then the truck driver wouldn't get any extra like stacks or something like that.
And special seal on it or something.
Okay.
On the tape, yeah. Okay. Now, have you presented your ideas to anybody outside your group, other than your parents? Somebody outside your parents?
Yeah.
Oh, who did you give your presentation to?
Some people at our church.
And well, we presented to a lot of like other professors at Missouri.
And did you do a video for YouTube?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, not yet. Are you thinking about it? Because I noticed you had YouTube on there, so you used YouTube as a source.
Yeah.
Facebook, you used as a source, and what did you find on Facebook? Did they have very much about it, or
Spreading the idea.
spreading the idea?
Not using it as a source.
But okay, so using that as a way to get it out to people. Have you had any hits on it? Do you know if anybody has come back and said great idea? Because it is a great idea, you guys. It really is. Both ideas, the sensors and the eyes. I really like those.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. Did you have any more questions?
I don't at this point.
Thank you, guys. That was great.
Thanks very much.
And I love the name. I love the way
Yeah.
you came up with the name.